Hi guys, ako nga pala si Ramil Magboa from IT2102 and today I will tackle or I will discuss about the chapter 2 in CNA1 entitled Configure a Network Operating System. And now, let's get started. Chapter 2 Configure a Network Operating System. In this chapter, we'll talk about the sections and objective, the iOS bootcamp, and the basic device configuration. Address schemes. The first one is the iOS bootcamp. This is the operating system. Operating system is all on the electronic devices that are require an operating system. For example, in the Windows or laptops, Mac or like Linux, and also in the mobile phones, like for example in the Apple iOS, Android, and smartphones and tablets. Cisco iOS for network devices such as the switches, routers, wireless, or the AP, then the firewall. This is a hub on three parts. The first one is the OS shell, the second one is the kernel, and the third one is the hardware. The OS shell is the command line interface or the CLI or the graphic user interface that enables a user to interface with applications. And the second one is the kernel. The kernel communicates directly with the hardware and manage how hardware resources are used to meet software requirements. And the third one is the hardware. This is the physical part of a computer, including the underlying electronics. And then, what is the purpose of OS? The purpose of OS in using GUI enables a user to use a mouse to make selections and run programs. For example, that I am going to do. And then, enter text and text-based commands. And using a CLI on a Cisco iOS, switch routers enables network technicians to use a keyboard to run CLI-based network programs. There are many distinct variations of Cisco iOS. The first one is the iOS for switches, routers, and the other networking devices, and the other one iOS numbered version for a given Cisco networking devices. This is the example of the purpose of the iOS, which is this is the text or the devices that are default and feature set. It is possible to upgrade the iOS version or the feature set. And then this is Cisco connection online is having a account required. This is the access methods. There have the three common ways to access the iOS, which is the console port, the second one is the secure shell, and the third one is, or last, is the telnet. Console port is the serial port used primarily for managing purposes, such as the initial configuration of a router. And the second one, the SSH or the secure shell, is the in-band method for remotely and secure establishment CLI session over a network. It is used for the passwords and encrypting the passwords instead of telnet whenever it's possible. Telnet is in the interface remotely establishes CLI sessions through a virtual interface over a network. It is also used in passwords commands that send out over the in plain text. It is have the terminal emulation program. It is the popular terminal used in the Windows. For example, is including the PATI. This is the PATI configuration in the picture, and then the TerraTerm Secure CTR or the OS X terminal. This is the modes of operations of the Cisco IOS. It is use of hierarchical command structure. Primary commands modes. This is have the two command modes, which is the exe modes and the privilege ex mode, which is the user exec mode allows only a limited number, and the privilege exec mode allows the execution of configuration and management commands. This is the descriptions and the devices prompt. Configuration commands modes, which is the primary configuration modes called the global configuration or the simply global config. It is used for the config terminal, and it has a two mode. The first one is the interface mode and the line mode. OS device is having the two modes that are the first one is to configure the network interface, and the second one is to configure the console, AUX, telnet, or the CHS access. Navigating between iOS modes. It is various commands that are used to move in and out command prompt. And then the basic iOS command structure. This is the keyword or the argument. This first one is the keyword or the argument. It is specific parameter defined in the operating system, and the argument is not predefined a value of variable defined by the user. iOS command syntax. This is the examples, the description string, and the ping IP address. The ping is the command that are used. The find argument is the IP address of the destination devices, such as the ping, or the for example is the 10.10.10.5. The boldface that indicates commands and keywords that you enter literally are shown. This is the help features, hotkeys, packet tracers. The second one is the basic device configuration. Device names. This is a host names that enables an administrator to name a device, making it easier to identify a network, such as in, for example, in you are in the building, the administration administrator uh, name the first floor, second floor, and the third floor router. So it is appeared in CLI prompts that can be used in various authentication process between devices and should be used on topology diagrams. Configuring a host name. It is a host name that global configuration command. It is used to assign a name. For example, in this building, the first floor, we're now going to enter the enable switch, configure the terminal, and the host name the first SW floor 1. Limiting devices access. This is the step 1 and the step 2. In limiting devices access, limit administrative access as follows. This is secure administrative access. It is to secure the privilege, secure the user exec access, secure the remotes, and it is used to strong the password as suggested. Configure passwords. It is used for the enable secret password. For example, in user exec mode, it is used in the line console 0 password, and the password is also the password and then login. In securing the remote telnet, it is to um, or SSH, or the secure shell access by configuring the virtual terminal, which is the VTY. You, you can enter the line VTY 015 password and the login. Encrypting passwords. It is a startup configure and running config files display most passwords in plain text. It is the security threat because anyone can see the password if they access to these files. For example, is this when you enter the service password encryption and exit, show running config. This is shown as the host name and the password. And then when you are using the service password encryption, global config command to encrypt all passwords. It is the command applies weak encryption to all encrypted passwords. However, it is stops shoulder surfing. The banner message. The banner message or the that are displayed when someone attempts to gain access to a device. It is used an important part of the legal process in the event that someone is prosecuted or the breaking into a devices. Configuring using banner mode MOTD or the delimiter message that command from global configuration mode. This is the syntax checker. How to save the running configuration file. The first one we're going to do is the running configuration file and the startup configuration file. Address schemes or the last that we're going to do. This is the IP address, subnet mask, or the default gateway. Interface and ports that are each switch has a default VLAN 1 or the SPI. How to manual the IP address configuration for end devices. You can open the control panel, network center, change adapter settings, and click on the adapter. What is the switch virtual interface? It is remotely managed a switch. It must also be configured with an IP configuration, which is, however, a switch does not have a physical Ethernet interface that can be configured. The first one or the VLAN 1 switch virtual interface is the IP address, subnet mask, and enable. IP address is uniquely identifies the switch on the network. And the second one is the subnet mask that identifies the network and host portion in the IP address using the no shutdown command. This is the packet tracer, the interface addressing verification or the ipconfig command. It is the IP configuration on a window host and verified using the ipconfig command. End-to-end connectivity test. That is the ping or the command can be used to test connectivity to another devices on the network or website on the internet. This is the done for the chapter 2. Thank you.